Thank you all so much, and the folks that are standing here with me are all winners and former winners, and we have Frank Lee and Allie Lee from North Carolina. We have our last year's winner, Mr. Will Kimball, who will do another song for you, and we have Mr. Eric Davis, who won 3 years ago and who also placed this year. So we're going to do a song we call the tribute song that we wrote about John Hartford and get right on with this. Give a big hand, please, for the songwriters who are about to step out here. At our website, there are over 100 songs now that we've gathered over the last 6 years, people who have written that were inspired by John Hartford. That's why we're here. Are we ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gathered here to celebrate John Hartford, that his memory lives, so he's never really gone. As the tunes drift sweetly by and flow gently to the sky, that old steam-powered airplane's looking down. I listen and I take a look around, while the fiddles and the banjos join to make that joyful sound. And way up on the hill where they do the boogie still, that old steam-powered airplane's flying down.
Look at all the folks who sit and listen to the ones who come to sing and dance and play. His melodies and rhymes are always gentle on my mind, just like they were back in the good old days. I can close my eyes and see them, yes, it's true. I can hear that old-time fiddle, close your eyes, you'll see him too. Now, folks, we all know where an old-time riverman goes. He's off skipping in the Mississippi Doo.
We've all come here to celebrate John Hartford and take part in this music he inspired. As the circle of life spins, how we miss you, dear old friend, and sure do wish we had our time again. Just listen, folks, and take a look around, as the fiddles and the banjos come to make that joyful sound. Way up on the hill where they do the boogie still, that old steam-powered airplane looking down. On the hill where they do the boogie still, that old steam-powered airplane looking down.
Well, I need to win away.
Lovely.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, our last year's winner with a song called Paddle Wheel Shuffle, Mr. Will Kimball from Cincinnati, and I will say, Will is also an expert, worldwide respected mandolin maker, so look Will up. Will Kimball.
Thanks, Ernie. So this here's the Paddle Boat Shuffle. Well, hey, John, why you gone so long, shuffling up the river on the wings of a song? So long, keep moving on, keep the wheel turning till the daylight is gone. It's the paddle boat shuffle on the Ohio. Gotta pull it into Portsmouth by tomorrow, don't you know? Years go flying by, but the days are nice and slow. It's the paddle boat shuffle on the Ohio. Well, hey, John, did you hear him say, music of the river gonna carry us away? Some say that we lost our way, but I think that everything is gonna be okay. It's the paddle boat shuffle on the Ohio. Gotta pull it into Portsmouth by tomorrow, don't you know? Years go flying by, but the days are nice and slow. It's the paddle boat shuffle on the Ohio. Hey, John, did you bring us a song? We're hoping that the fiddle and the banjo came along. One song when the day is done, fiddle and the banjo gonna carry us home. It's the paddle boat shuffle on the Ohio. Gotta pull it into Portsmouth by tomorrow, don't you know? Years go flying by, but the days are nice and slow. It's the paddle boat shuffle on the Ohio. It's the paddle boat shuffle on the Ohio. gotta pull it into Portsmouth by tomorrow, don't you know? Years go flying by, but the day's nice and slow. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start with our fifth place winner who could not be here, Mr. Robert Hatcher from Georgia. So our sixth place winner, Mr. Mace Hathaway from near Chicago, was on hand. So Mace is going to come up here and do his song, which is, Mace entered last year, or the year before, he wrote a song called Bite of the Bend, and man, it just gave me chill bumps. And one of the things I do with the songwriting contest, I do not judge, because we accept up to 35 entries, and I do get to know these people as they're entering, because we go over things several times and they become friends. So everybody you see here at some point or another in my life is a good friend or will be. So without any further ado, I want to introduce you to our fifth place winner, Mr. Mace Hathaway.
Hey everybody. I'm excited to be here. I'm sorry them fellas from down south couldn't make it, but it looked good for me, I guess. Well, there goes little brother John down to the riverbank. He got a cane pole and a cream jar full of muskrat bait that stinks. He gets perched up top a cedar log wedged between two rocks. Got his bibs rolled to his kneecaps, catching crawdads with his socks. Well, if I had my way, I'd tell you just what I'd do. I'd saw that fiddle, throw a vamp in the middle, go paddling in my Gum-Tree canoe. And I'd float that river, do my best to deliver all the good vibes I got to do. I'd step into John Hartford shoes if I had my way. Well, there goes young gentleman John with sweet Lorena Lou. They got a Cracker Jack rock and paper rose and some blue. And the preacher says, do you marry? And the boy says, yes, I do. He slips her a kiss and carries her to worlds so new. And he saws that fiddle, throws a vamp right in the middle. He rolls that banjo all long day. I'd slip into John Hartford shoes if I had my way. So would you. If I could wear old Hartford shoes, I'd tap out the cold. And I'd ring in all the love that's deuce and hatred packing down the road. And I saw my fiddle throw a vamp right in the middle, and I wrote a banjo all live long day. I'd slip into John Hartford shoes if I had my way. Well, there goes old Riverman John down where the water's wide. Sun sitting soft on the stern wheel steamer, got a pretty girl by his side. And another day's passed us by. Thank you.
And Mace, if you'll step over here and give your guitar to my wife, I'll have a new instrument. We have some stuff for you here. Mr. Tom Burkhart, our chief promoter and a master woodworker, we have a plaque here that shows you as a finalist for the 2019 John Hartford Memorial Festival Songwriters Challenge. From our friend Clyde Gill, who couldn't make it this year at Peaceful Bend Winery down there in Stillville, Missouri. We got you a bottle of wine.
Who wants to hang out?
And there's a coupon in here for a CD from Hartford.com. Our friends up there are giving our winners CDs. And a crazy book called The Cosmic Path to Melody and Lyric that I wrote that it's just a bunch of bull, but it's all about songwriting and creativity that you can get from me at my website. Never enough hugs in this world. So, did everybody bring somebody that you love? Yeah. That's what we want. That's how our family has grown to what it is now. We say bring someone you love. Please imagine who you would love to see sitting right beside you and bring them. And if there's somebody that that's going to be bugging you at home, it's probably too late for the next festival. Just call and tell them to meet you here, and you can stay home, and they'll be here, and we'll love them. That's kind of how that will work. We're going to move on now to our fourth place songwriting champ. And Mr. Eric Davis. Eric helped us out with the tribute song. Eric won first place about 3 years ago, wasn't it, Eric?
Something like that. Something like that, Ernie, yes.
And he decided to enter again just for the heck of it, and his song is called Pre-Dawn Glow. And Eric, you're living now in Iowa?
Well, I'm from Central Illinois.
Central Illinois. That's pretty close.
Yes.
Eric Davis, please give him a warm welcome.
John found a song in the pre-dawn glow, in the bend of the river where the fog hangs low. Watch it drift around in layer upon layer, giving way to the mystery below. Somewhere out there a muskie leaps. Sounds like a banjo being dropped into the water. The captain doesn't budge, he just sits and smokes a little up on that hurricane deck of a steam-powered stern-wheeler. He says, I like those boilers humming down below. I want to feel the wind, yeah, I like to hear steam. Let me go on, mama, down the Joseph's dream. Let me be the captain of that Mississippi Queen. Let me stand between the levers. I'm a captain man of a steam-powered stern-wheeler. Let me churn these waters I love so. 'Cause I don't know how far I'm traveling down this river, boys, life's unraveling. Don't let my paddle be bogged by that mud. And he says this, he goes, I'm alright, spend my time coming up empty on those answers. Look back what I've done, you know I'm thinking about it some. Never will I find my forgiveness. The Kentucky pool had made a fool out of me. How I wish we had our time again. 'Cause the muddy water never quite comes clear, and my bearing on this river, well, it might as well be the deep blue ocean. But my captain doesn't budge, he just sits and smokes a little on a hurricane deck of a steam-powered stern-wheeler. Down on the river where the fog hangs low, John found a song in that pre-dawn glow. says, let me stand between the levers. I'm a captain man of a steam-powered stern wheeler. Let me turn those waters I love so. 'Cause I don't know how far I'm traveling down this river, boys, life's unraveling. Don't let my paddle ever be bogged by the mud. And he says, I'm alright, spend my time coming up empty on those answers. Think about what I've done, you know, I'm looking back on it some. Will I ever find this forgiveness? Thank you all.
Eric Davis, Pre-Dawn Glow. Eric has CDs. Eric, after the contest, moved down to Nashville, and he's been moving all over. Eric he's a time traveler and a space traveler, and he's a cosmic brother. Yeah, and Eric, got you a thing in there, man. You can trade in for a CD. Got you another one of those.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Eric's quoted in this book, by the way, The Cosmic Path to Melody and Lyric. I'm plugging it. Eric gave me a wonderful quote, and I thought, hey, man, because it's all about the cosmos. We don't do it for money, right?
That's right.
Right. I will tell you, though, my lovely assistant, Patty Hill, and I originally were going to do Wheel of Fortune in place of Say Jack and Vanna White, but we didn't like their music. A bottle of red wine from Clyde Hill. Another plaque. Tom went all out this year, and he made a plaque for everybody. He wanted everybody to see his great art, and we do too. If you want to pester Tom about at 3 a.m., he'll be asleep. There's a bus right straight down Vendor Row on the right, a beautiful old bus that he's just done wonderful work with on the inside. Just shake it and say, let us in. And it might unclog his toilet. A wonderful poster by our artist, John Griffin. He signed one for each of our contestants. You can get these from John right up here at the pavilion. Everything John Griffin does is unique. It's one of a kind. And if I may say so, John did the cover work and illustrated my book, The Cosmic Path to Melody and Lyric. Thank you so much, bro. Moving on to our third place contestant. Now, I've got a little story about this guy. Here he comes. As I told you, I don't judge, I make friends. And I made a friend with this man about 35 years ago in Winfield, Kansas. And when I saw his name in the lineup, I thought, is this the same, my buddy, Jim? And Jim is a wonderful and prolific songwriter from Lecompton, Kansas. And he wrote an incredible story, If I Could Sing Like John Hartford. And ladies and gentlemen, please give a big hand to Mr. Jimmy Boose.
To hear me sing it, it ain't no big deal, but the name of the song is If I Could Sing Like John Hartford. Got a call from a gal when she was going to school over in Louisville. Said she had a break coming and she'd really like to see me if I had a little time to kill. I said work being slow, time wouldn't be a problem, but having traveling money would. But I'd try to work a riverboat out of St. Louis and I'd be there just quick as I could. So after a couple of days asking around the land, found a boiler man looking for a day hand. I said I know a little bit about boilers and the rest, well I'm thinking I can understand. He said if your hands fit the handle of an old coal shovel, I'm thinking maybe you'll do. Just be at the Derby Bell at 4 in the morning and I'll sign you on as one of the crew. But if I could sing like John Hartford, play the fiddle and the banjo too, you can bet I'd been up on the top deck, leaning on the rail like the regular paying passengers do. Instead I got an aching in my back, blisters on my hands from keeping the boiler's belly full of coal. just shoveling my way on down the Mississippi River and on up the Ohio. After a couple of days asking around the land, oops, sorry folks. Well, in the morning we went down to the heart of the belly, said where most of the working gets done. Then he fired up the boiler and he told me what it takes to make that old steam engine run. He said, I'll tend to the gauges and the valves in the engine, you just keep that firebox fed. Then he started telling stories about boilers blowing up, and I heard every word that he said. So I was sweating and a shoveling and I listened to him talk about his years working the river as a boiler man. When we stopped at Cairo, I ate my jelly sandwich while he squirted all the bearings with an oil can. By the time we docked at Louisville, I was feeling pretty puny inside. But I thank you for the stories, and I thank you for the pay, and I thank you for the riverboat ride. But if I could sing like John Hartford, play the fiddle and the banjo too, you can bet it'd been up on the top deck, leaning on the rail like the regular paying passengers do. Instead, I got an aching in my back, blisters on my hands from keeping the boiler's belly full of coal. Just shoveling my way on down the Mississippi River and down up the Ohio. And I finally saw my gal, my arms felt like noodles just hanging and a-wiggling from my shoulders. And I was glad to see her, she was glad to see me, but it hurt like the devil just to hold her. She says, maybe after dinner, could we go dance the night away? Well, I could have said no, but I said far out, but it made for a mighty long day. Oh, I never got the chance to work another riverboat, and I had my fill of shoveling coal. But I sort of missed the hissing and groaning of that old steam engine and the thumping as the paddle wheels rolled. I even missed those stories from that old boiler man. He could shovel up some pretty neat lies. But I never missed the blisters, nor the aching in my back, nor the coal dust burning my eyes. But if I could sing like John Hartford, play the fiddle and the banjo too, you can bet it'd been up on the top deck, leaning on the rail like the regular paying passengers do. Instead, I got an aching in my back, blisters on my hands from keeping the boiler's belly full of coal. Just shoveling my way on down the Mississippi River and on up the Ohio. Shoveling my way on down the Mississippi River and on up the Ohio. There you go. Thank you.
My soul brother Jim Booz from Lecompton, Kansas. I'm so happy he made the trip out here, and I'm happy he placed in that top 5. And I'll tell you, the scoring was super, super, super close. So Jim, if you'll step over here, we got goodies for you. As the third place winner, Jim won $50. Got his ticket reimbursed, and there's a coupon in there for a CD at the Hartford.com booth. And we also have a cool bowler hat plaque made by Tom Burkhart for Jim. And a bottle of wine from Peaceful Bend Winery for Jim. And the autographed poster by Mr. John Griffin, our music artist, world-renowned and American treasure, who incidentally illustrated my book, The Cosmic Path of Melody and Lyric. Jim is quoted in here, as well as Eric Davis, because they're great songwriters, and they don't do it for the money. Jim, here's another one. And they're illustrated in black and white, so you can color them. I mean, you know, there's options.
Christmas presents are paid for now.
Thank you, brother. We'd also like to thank our anonymous judges across the country who have spent a lot of time wading through. You see, as part of the requirement to advance in this contest, you have to either mention the name John Hartford completely or use one of the 30 original John Hartford song titles that we provide. And that's why we call it a challenge, because we don't want you to just take a song that you've written and throw it in the hat. We want you to think about John Hartford. We want you to go to our website and read about John Hartford and learn about John Hartford and understand why his music changed the way people approach music in the 60s and 70s. And John Hartford was a groundbreaking trendsetter, a genre-busting rebel, and he's the reason we're here today as one big, happy, loving family. I'd like to move on now to our second place winner, and I will tell you the scoring was incredibly close in all of these, and there was only 1 point difference between second place and first place, so you can believe, technically, there are no losers in this contest. Everybody, if they made it in that top 10, actually the top 20, they were very, very good songwriters. So with his song, Man in a Hat from Bluemont, Virginia, Mr. Derek Kretzer. Give him a big hand in second place.
Thank y'all so much. I saw John Hartford in a dream last night. He was flying through the sky in a strange-looking device. Had a banjo for a wing and a guitar for the other, and a long fiddle bow just acting as the rudder. Didn't make a sound as I looked up and stared. Not a puff of black smoke, a chemtrail in the air. Just a man in a hat holding the wheel going wow. There were men in tall buildings looking out the window when they saw a floating bluegrass show. They were blinded by the light they were really taking in, so they hopped on board and started boogieing. And before long everything was alright. We slept in the day, played music all night, with just a man in a hat holding the wheel going when the morning comes, better kick it into gear, 'cause we got a show down the road from here. So hoist your sails and let the whistle scream, and remind yourself that this is all a dream. Moving on and not a moment too late, from the Mississippi River to the Milky Way, with just a man in a hat holding the wheel going now. Thank you.
All righty, Derek. We have awards for Derek. Derek won $100. Yeah. And there's also a coupon in there for a free CD from the Hartford.com Pavilion. Bottle of wine from Peaceful Bend Winery down there in Steelville, Missouri, courtesy of Clyde Gill and Katie Knott. The beautiful bowler hat plaque made by Mr. Tom Burkhart, who buses over there, and he'd love for you to wake him up about 3 in the morning. The autograph poster by our wonderful muse artist, Mr. John Griffin, who is also quoted in this book, The Cosmic Path to Melody and Lyric, that you can pick up at my website, and a copy for Mr. Derek Kretzer. Without further ado, we get down to our man who garnered the most points by 1 point from St. Louis, Missouri, Mr. Barker Thompson. And our buddy Dan's going to help us figure out which mic his Mando's going to be on. Here we go. There. You'll be here, and your man will be here.
Cool.
And Barker's going to do a song for you called Banjo Clown. And then he's going to do another song for you that he written. And Barker also won the opportunity to come back next year, like Mr. Kimball, and play in the showcase again. So please give a great big hand all the way from St. Louis. And Barker, you may introduce us to your mandolin player?
This is Mark Nienimber over here, my friend on Mando.
Barker has a pretty good thing going on with YouTube and Facebook, and you can sure look him up there. Please give a big, big hand for Mr. I call him Sam, Barker Thompson.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Johnny, won't you play me a fiddle tune? Give me them happy feet. Get me walking around on the ceiling and jiggling in my seat. Dance me a couple of Buster Brown shuffles, try not to lose your mind. Beatbox and fiddle tune players are getting pretty hard to find. Well, you could be way up in heaven or the other, playing the banjo clown. You could be on the road to Natchez, brother, with a lot of good songs going down. Or on my old phonograph records, doing a little C and then back to G. You could be out on a big old paddle wheel, floating on out to sea. Johnny, won't you blow your old steamboat whistle, blow it all sweet and low. I'd sing you a little harmony, but I guess it was your time to go. I'd be glad to clap your little rhythm if you come on back and play. There's been no one to take your place since you have gone away. Well, you could be way up in heaven or the other, playing the banjo clown. You could be on the road to Natchez, brother, with a lot of good songs going down. On my old phonograph records, doing a little C and then back to G. Or you could be out on a big old paddle wheel, floating on out to sea. Johnny, won't you play a silly banjo tune, pluck it around on the hop. Gotta find a way to give me some of what you got. Sail on down the old mighty, morning bugle is calling you now. Wow, 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 wow. Captain Buck's golden eagle is picking you up downtown. Well, you could be way up in heaven or the other, playing the banjo clown. You could be on the road to Natchez, brother, with a lot of good songs going down. On my old phonograph records, doing a little C and then back to G. You could be out on a big old paddle wheel, floating on out to sea. Well, you could be way up in heaven or the other, playing the banjo clown. You could be on the road to Natchez, brother, with a lot of good songs going down. On my old phonograph records, doing a little C and then back to G. You could be out on a big old paddle wheel, floating on out to sea. Thanks. Thank you. I'd like to thank Roadman and George at the Culture Shop for this fine hat. Yes. Go check those guys out. And, of course, John Hartford and all his fans for this fine festival, and John and Tom for starting it. This one's called Sail, and Ernie, of course, and the committee for choosing my song, and Derek and all the other guys that wrote their songs. And I'm going to shut up now and play. I took a walk in somebody else's shoes. Found out why old Stella had the blues. Love dagger cut her so deep. We're all just too afraid to take a flying leap. But I'm gonna throw my sail into the wind. 'Cause I may never get a chance like this again. I think I saw a train-shaped cloud up in the sky. I think I saw a flash of doubt in the middle of your eye. Well, I could just disappear without a trace. You're stuck in second gear, but I ain't trying to race. I'll cut my losses, it ain't nothing new. There might be nothing really left here to do. So I'm gonna throw my sail into the wind. 'Cause I may never get a chance like this again. I think I saw a train-shaped cloud up in the sky. I think I saw a flash of doubt in the middle of your eye. Well, if you don't love me, darling, that's okay. 'Cause I got that blue sky above me, and I don't think I'm gonna stay anyway. I'm gonna throw my sail into the wind. 'Cause I may never get a chance like this again. I think I saw a train-shaped cloud up in the sky. I think I saw a flash of doubt in the middle of your eye. 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 Thank you, guys. I'll have a few CDs back at the merch thing and an email list if you want to come talk to me for a little while, about an hour or so. I'll be back there for about an hour.
I'll talk to Barker for about an hour or
Thanks.
so. Thank you so much. Barker Thompson, let's get Barker loaded up with some stuff. I get rid of chiggers like that. I hug a lot of people. About once a year, every spring, we have a yard party. And the main reason is we don't like insecticide, but if we get enough people out there, they take chiggers and ticks home with them, and they can do whatever they want to with them, but our yard is clean. It works. I have a gift from Cloud Shadow Jewelry that my wife made for Barker, Patty Hill. And each stone represents an important month in Barker's life. And it's crystal. I'm going to take it out and show it to you. Maybe Patty will rewrap it for you. And it's a sun catcher. Awesome. And she'll tell you what those things mean. Explain it to you. Very quickly. There's this part. Okay. For entering and winning the contest, Barker also won $200 and a CD from johnhartford.com. And the card is in there. It's got that on it. Okay. You already know about this, and I've told Barker about it. I'll say nothing else about it except you can get it from my website, wordsofernest.com. The cosmic path of melody in there. And of course, that book's chock full of illustrations by our Cosmic Muse artist, Mr. John Griffin, a true American treasure. Autographed. A bottle of wine from Peaceful Bend Winery in Steelville, Missouri. If you're from out west, stop by and see Clyde and Katie and get yourself something to drink.
Yeah. Where at?
Steelville, Missouri.
Cool.
Yeah.
Close to me.
Close. And the number one plaque here, first place for the John Hartford Memorial Festival. A bowler hat by Mr. Tom Burkhart, complete with a little hangy thing in the back. And this is called leopard wood. And Tom's very meticulous, very careful, and quite a perfectionist in the woodwork that he does.
What's it called?
Leopard wood.
Leopard.
Leopard wood.
That is unbelievable.
And let's give another big hand for Mr. Barker Thompson. And folks, coming up here in a little bit is the Glade City Rounders. But right now, I would like to introduce you to a man I've been talking about. His ears were burning so bad he came up here, standing practically right behind me.